Guy Lara is ingenieur en voormalig bedrijfsleider. Na een beroerte koos hij ervoor om zich terug te trekken en een plek te vinden om buiten de elektromagnetische vervuiling te leven. Sinds 2019 heeft hij zich gewijd aan het verwelkomen en helpen van mensen met EAS. Hij woont even voor de duidelijkheid in België. Door te zoeken naar manieren om de blootstelling aan straling op voornamelijk technische manieren te verminderen. Hij is initiatiefnemer van de Europese bijeenkomst die in juni bij hem thuis plaatsvindt. Dat is de bijeenkomst 17-18 juni. Daar kun je je nog voor inschrijven, klopt?
Ja, tot 20...
Tot 20 mei.
Ja.
In onze nieuwsbrief is daar een melding van geweest. Dus mocht je aanwezig willen zijn, tot 20 mei kun je je inschrijven.
Mevrouw Rivasi zal komen daar om te spreken.
Ja. Misschien kun je zo even vertellen wat er gebeurt. Maar even kijken. Je bent ook een van de oprichters van European for Safe Connections.
Niet de oprichter, maar member.
Ja. Member, oké. En de afgevaardigde voor de vereniging, de Franse vereniging, die hetzelfde doet als Stichting EAS. Cœur DHS. Thank you. En hij is ook actief columnist voor zijn website Un lieu de vie pour EAS. Ik zal zijn vrouw nog even waar ze wordt. Regine Caxton is verpleegkundige en samen werken jullie aan de kwestie elektrohypersensitiviteit. Jullie hebben een woongebied wat nog wit te noemen is. En dat wordt ook opengesteld voor mensen die daar tijdelijk willen verblijven. Welkom Guy.
Dankjewel. Zo. Mijn vrouw en ik, we zijn heel blij hier te zijn. Wij komen van België, ja, van een klein dorp gelegen naast de Franse grens. Het is nog een witte zone, een klein witte zone, maar het is de enige plaats, ik denk in België nu, als witte zone. Ik zal verder gaan nu in Engels, maar op de beelden, u zal altijd de tekst in Nederlands hebben in het rode, de English tekst in blauw en de beelden om te begrijpen wat ik zeg. Oké?
Als iemand het niet verstaat, steek gewoon even je hand op, dan vertaal ik.
I'll begin in English with a story. And as you know, all the story begins with once upon a time. Once upon a time, there was a couple, my wife and I, who were searching a place to stay because we were EHS all the time. She and I, we were EHS. We have been looking for more than 6 months. And we found that place in the south of Belgium. Our house is situated along the French border, and there we are there from 2090, and we received every year people, EHS people, to help them and to retrieve all their health. Okay. So let's go further. In 2021, I was a crazy man, and there was a place to sell in the same street, about 300 meters far away from our house. Sorry, but my nose is... that will help. On this place, antennas were far away from more than 3 kilometers, and the only trouble we had was with the neighbors. So, you see, the antennas are above there, more than 3 kilometers. The first point in red is the place where we have built the house, and the other point is the place where we live now. Around the house we wanted to build, there were 3 neighbors with Wi-Fi and DCT. So that was the trouble. But I'm not a real crazy man. I'm also an engineer, and when I want to do something, at first I try to measure what the trouble is. We have used the cornet. Everybody knows this instrument. We have used the acoustimeter. Do you know that in Holland? But these are mainly programmed for biology. And biology, it's not enough for EHS people which have great problem. So we use another technology. I'll show you directly. Okay. Which is a spectral technology to see exactly who is our enemy. Non, ça va. So, you have to recognize the device. Okay. And you can tell him what you're searching for. So if you think that there is a trouble in the band of 700 megahertz to 2 giga or something like that, you can see exactly the frequency which is in trouble with your problem. If you see here, there is a maximum on, tell me, that frequency, it says that there is something wrong with 877 megahertz. I won't go further with this, but it's just to show you that we have been working with a professional measurement before we decided what to do with the house. So we did. It's complicated with all these systems. Voilà. It's like a magician. So we have chosen a house in wood, which is not the best choice, but you have to know that that kind of house is made of, it's called CLT. It's made with a few layers of solid planks, which are in pine. If you have 15 centimeters, it's the equivalent of 30 centimeters of concrete. Okay? But this wasn't enough, so we had to put on a special paint, which is in E-Shield, you know, the Max 44. That's where we put it. And we started with three coated of this paint on the wood. Then the house was built in 2 days. They came with the house. We assembled everything in 2 days, and it was ready for the other works. If you want to see it, we can pass it in the paper. After 2 days, they have protected the house with rain protection. It was a nice gift, like a package for my birthday or what you want. Okay, but it's very important that the wood is dry, very dry. The most is dry is, the most effective is. You know, there is a term, I don't know in English and I don't know in Dutch, it's permittivity. That's the characteristic of a material, who absorb or doesn't absorb the waves from the external waves. Then they came with the roof directly to protect all the house, and the roof was made with an aluminium rain screen was put it all over the roof, and then with pier. Pier, it's protected by 2 plates with aluminium. On each side you have aluminium. So we can say that the roof was protected from the satellites and everything else. On the roof, then we put the EPDM, which is a polymer against the rain, and then we add some river stones with 10 centimeters to protect it from a thermal variability. If you want to test, it's there for you. Yeah. 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 Why did I choose the paint and not the aluminium? You have to know that we did all the works inside the house ourselves, so we had to get something which was easy to put. But you will see now. On the left, you have the first coat of paint, and on the right, you get all the characteristics of the style of the waves. You know, there are reflection, diffraction, all the phenomena who are to take into account when you will protect a place. Why did I choose the paint from eShield, and why the Max 54? On the right, you have the efficiency graph with the protection of the painting. At the beginning, you see it's in dB. When it's negative, the efficiency increase with the number of coats and with the frequency. You can see that at 40 gigahertz, it's more effective. It's nearly 100% effective, but it's only effective of I say 40 dB, minus 40 dB at 1 gigahertz. So it's a protection for the future. It's surely a protection for 5G and 6G. We added AF3, which is an additive to increase the conductivity of the paint. So I'll show you. If the piece of wood, who has the piece of wood? please give it back to me. It's a piece of my house and I need it. You have to know that you won't have the capacity to ground it the high frequencies. The only thing you can ground it is the low frequencies. So, if I take this multimeter, you know that? If I put the metal on the metal, the conductivity is perfect, okay. If I put it on the wood, the conductivity is 0, okay, for who want to see. If I put it on the wall, on the paint thing, you see the conductivity is on, so it's a good way to put all the electricity to the ground.
Was it mixed with the paint or was it under the paint that connected to the
I arrived there. Okay, thanks. Yeah.
Because you mentioned electricity and conductivity, and you work with the devices. Are these solutions you are presenting also a solution for electric fields? Because me myself, I'm suffering enormously from electric fields.
For the moment, I'm talking about high frequencies. Then we will speak about low frequencies and what we used as techniques to reduce the low frequencies. The walls were secure. There was no trouble. But the problem comes from the windows and from the door. The door and the windows, they arrived 2 months after, so the inside of the house was protected by the paint, but the waves couldn't still come in, and it was very it was a trouble, because at first I had to paint in the dark with black paint. I didn't see anything after the first coat. And the second trouble was that the waves from the Wi-Fi from the neighbors came in, and it was a ping pong inside the house with the waves from the Wi-Fi. So the windows arrived on the 1st of September. It was two months after. The windows are made in wood. And the inner face of the window, of the glasses, is covered with an oxide metal to protect against thermal problem. But it's very useful to protect also from the starting. But it wasn't enough. So we had to put at the outside of the door mosquito net, which is here, to add protection into the house. At first, we put it on only one window in one room, and we had a new measurement about the efficiency of this protection. So we take new measurements. And we decided to add a third coat of paint on the wool house and to put mosquitoes to all the windows to protect inside. Then we add the new measurement and we see that it was completely correct for us, and with numbers, ciphers, lowest, it was better than Bobiology. Okay, that's all. So we were talking about high frequency and we arrived to low frequencies. Low frequencies is a real trouble in a wood house because The wood is doesn't conduct electricity, but it has it will transport electricity from place to place. So we decided to have a very good grounding of the house, and we put it before the construction a loop in the ground in copper and lead. When they connected the house to the grid in 2022, they measure with the technique of 3 pegs, they measured 10 ohms of resistivity, okay, which was good enough for us. When you are too low, you have the return of the electricity from the ground in the house, and if it is too high, you have a bad solution to ground the house. But it wasn't still enough. We used cables, shielded cables. You see, you have the neutral, the phase, and the ground. Everything is with aluminium around them, and there is an additional ground. Okay, you need a continuity of this ground. So this ground is connected also in the electrical box. It was very useful, but the cables is not enough. You need to use what we call blockets in the wall to put all the plug in the wall, okay? These are also connected to the ground. That's what I bought in France, but it's not effective, so I had to do it myself with aluminium band like that. And you put it all around, then you add a connection, and you have an effective blockets to put in the wall. But if you don't try the material, you don't know if it works or if it is not working. So I had to try everything before I put it in the place. For what concerned the walls with the paint, we had to have an equipotential grounding of all the walls. So we put it pieces of metals like this. It costs nothing. There are holes into that, and you come with your wire. You put it in, 2 wires or 3, okay. Then 2 screws in the wall and connect it to the ground. So you have an equipotentiality of all the walls from the house. So if I test this in my house, I put my multimeter in one place and I try to another place, I have the conductivity from all the walls without trouble. So this is the solution for low frequencies. But it was still not enough. In fact, that was for the main circuit, and we also put a different circuit for the frigo and for the heating. So we have the possibility to cut off everything and to let the frigo and the heating working as needed for some people. You have to know that we receive very high EHS people, so They are very sensitive, and they don't need any electricity in the house. But it's still not enough. For the lighting, we used this kind of switches. If I push like this, did you feel something? No. So, in fact, these are switches without batteries, and you put it where you want in the house. If you want to put it there, you put it there, there's no trouble. If you want two switches for the same light, you put two switches for the same light. There is no need of a cable of wire between the switch and the light. It works with domotic. It sends, every time I push here, it sends a frequency of, you see, 800 megahertz during 0.06 seconds, so you don't feel anything, and with a power of 10 milliwatt. It was very useful because you have only to connect with the shielded wires your lamp directly to the coffer, to the electric coffer, and in the electric coffer you have a switch which works with this switch and will disrupt when you push, just like that. Okay? It's not too expensive, only the switches are costly because this was about 50 euros at that time, but that was all we needed with a special coffer to have the contact. So you have the switch, the coffer, and these wires with the ground also. But for electric hypersensitive, it's still not enough. You also need to ground the internet with a special wire for the connection on RG45, which is also grounded, and you have to ground these wires also. In the house, we have 3 places with connection where people can make them with their internet, with their computer, because it's very important that they keep contact with the other people, and that was the solution we found. But it's still not enough. So, où est mon câble USB? Mon câble USB. Je ne sais pas. So we have to use this cable with a USB connection to ground all the computer and the box with without Wi-Fi. There is, I think, the best I can do to eliminate all the low frequencies in the house. So, this is the house when it was finished. You see, we had to work also with the size of the windows. At first, my architect wanted windows from the roof to the ground. It was too much. We have also to protect aside the doors because there is a window there. It was impossible to put the mosquito net at the outside, so we had to put it at the inside. And then we saw that the efficacy was lower than when we put it at the outside. So we had to complete with a tulle like that. And beside the door, you have the window, the glass, you have the mosquito net, and then a tulle inside the house. If it was not enough for all the windows, we can still add this kind of tulle to eliminate all the high frequency inside the house.
You get stars inside them.
No. You can see.
I can see you.
Yeah. So you have to combine all the techniques to get a good result. Don't forget that each time each comes in the house, it plays ping pong inside the house. So you don't have to introduce any mobile phones, any Bluetooth or anything inside the house, because it's a game you will lose. Here you have all the material we used for the house. The house is about 90 square meters of surface. We have the cooking with propane. We have the heating with propane. There are 3 bedrooms, two bathrooms, one with a bath. We have an office. We have an office. We have also a living and a kitchen with about 30 square meters. We have a large parking and also a garden with goats and a pony for the moment, so it's very kindful. The house is occupied by EHS since October 22. We didn't make any advertising, and people are coming every week, and there are different people coming every week, because it's really a trouble for the people. Does this house be better when they come for weeks? No. The first week is very, very difficult, because you come with all the charge of what you accumulate the days before, and there is a kind of, I can say, addiction, and it's like the body of the people, they wanted the pulse of the high frequencies, and they have to take a few days before it decreases and they recover the health in their house.